it, we have it on Power 91.3 FM. Turn up your radio. Good music lives here.
To the best in music, news, entertainment with Power Breakfast, your favorite weekday morning show on Power 91.3 FM, Dstv, channel 92 on Topstar, and live on Facebook. Voice of the People is a dynamic and interactive radio phoning show that gives listeners a platform to voice their opinions on current affairs, social issues, and community concerns. With engaging discussions, expert insights, real-time audience participation. Voice of the People.
This is Voice of the People right here on the Power Breakfast, and you can be part of the conversation by going through to our social media platforms. That is on Facebook. You can catch us live. That is Power FM Zambia, and we're also live on Dstv channel 92 on Topstar, and you can come through on 0961 690 487 or 0979 192 485 or 0955 997 997, as we'll be opening the phone lines very soon right here on the show. We are also live on Dstv channel 914 and Gotv channel 304.
And today on Voice of the People, we are joined by Dr. Richwell Siamunene, who is a former Minister of Defense and former Minister for Western Province. Dr. Siamunene, who has been quite vocal on issues of governance, decentralization, and even constitutional reform, is also now a key figure of in the Zambia We Want political movement. So we'll be touching on a number of issues such as Zambia's constitutional challenges, judicial independence, decentralization, and what his party offers in terms of clean governance and accountability. Doctor, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you very much, Power FM, for having invited me. I'm pleased to be here.
All right. Now, let's dive into the conversation, Honorable. Now, the Constitutional Court ruled that former minister like yourself included must repay salaries for remaining in office after Parliament was dissolved. That was in 2016. How should Zambia fix the constitutional loopholes so that it doesn't happen again?
Well, thank you very much. I think, to be honest with you, that there are so many loopholes in the Zambian constitution, and let me say Zambian law. Okay? The whole governance system needs to be overhauled. There are so many other things that need to be done correctly so that we bring this issue of suspicion to end. Because in the current state, those in government, they have more rights than those who are not in government. So the rights are not the same, or the application of the law is not the same. You find that those in government, they go scot-free. Those who are from government, they are pursued. And those, when they go out again, they are pursued. And that tells you that there is a problem. There is a problem to fix in terms of our status.
Now, would you agree with some sections of society who do feel when we see ACC comes through with certain cases, like they'll only focus on those former ministers that were in the previous regime than the current ones?
Yes, I would agree with you clearly. We have seen in the past, and it's happening right now, that those who are cited, those who are pursued, most of them, we are not saying that there was no corruption, there was no other evil doings. We are saying the application is where it's a problem. So most of those who are pursued now are those from the former ruling party. And that gives you an indication clearly that there is a problem generally, which we need as a country to fix. Okay? No partisan. If you will move away this political divide and just say, okay, what is it that we ought to do? Where is the problem? Then we'll be able to come together as people and fix it for the future. Because the country has lost a lot of monies Only those who are from government, they are being pursued. And when they are pursued, you find that a lot have been lost. The people of Zambia, they have lost, okay? Now, if they are pursued when they are still in government, it will be also a deterrent that those who are in government, they will know that ACC will come to me if I do something wrong. Right now, they will wait until you are out of government, which is a loss to the country. And these are the problems that we need to fix as a country.
And well, I guess taking a different turn, but still within a similar vein, lately we have seen how the government, or rather the president, has exercised his powers over appointing and the removal of judges, which has brought up CSOs speaking against this and saying that possibly we should reduce presidential powers over such. Do you agree with the CSO's call that the presidential powers should be at least reduced?
I totally agree, and I'm an advocate of that the presidential powers, they are too much. Okay, we need to bring, if we have to bring good governance, we have to work with the systems. Okay, good governance entails that the systems are working, not individuals. If you are talking about individuals, they can err, but a system, if an individual is guided by the system, then we'll be able to operate within the ambit of his or her roles, according to what the law says.
Now, in your view, how can we make these bodies independent?
Well, the first thing is that you have to start from the appointment. You have to make sure that the appointment is done by the board. Okay? If you put a commission or a board and say, I'm giving an example of anti-corruption. Okay? The law must describe who should belong to anti-corruption. Okay, from that board point of view, that they are drawn from institutions, individuals, those institutions like Law Association of Zambia and other non-governmental organizations, or then describe that, look, they will be recommended by a Law Association of Zambia or other institutions, okay, to belong to the board. And then the board as well, or the commission, who will now look at who they should appoint as a manager, director, or a director general. So once you do that, it means that you have reduced the powers of those of the executive or the presidential powers. And also you extend further. You say, okay, what about dismissing? Because the individuals, those who put in the office, they can err. Okay, how do we make sure that we dismiss them correctly? Then you have now to find a way how an individual can be fired. If indeed the president has recommended, since they are the executive, to say this one should be dismissed, the case must go somewhere where it can be interrogated and see whether there is a matter. Okay? If they find that no, there is no matter here, and the person acted accordingly, then they should overturn that. They should recommend that we have not seen any wrongdoing here. Okay? So that there is this security of tenure. Right now, as I'm speaking, that the Director General of Anti-Corruption, is he or she is living in fear that I can be fired anytime. Whenever I do something, maybe I pursue this individual who is an associate of a minister or a president, fears that I will be fired because I'm appointed by them. I have nowhere else to go, okay, and appeal my dismissal, okay. If there was a body where those who are fired, they can appeal, even to go to the extent of the police, where they can appeal those dismissals, and perhaps overturned, who could have made this country better than what it is now, where there is accusation and the counter-accusation. Those in government, they are accusing those in opposition that they stole, and those in the opposition, they are accusing those in government that they... So, there we are even talking about shrinking democracy, shrinking democratic space, all these things. Those, when the UPND was, they were in the opposition, they complained the same thing. Okay.
So then my thing is, or rather my question would be then, This has been in the Constitution for quite some time. Every president has had this power. So why does it seem like it is an issue now? Is it maybe where CSOs not active enough to spot out that this is a problem?
No, we are living in a changing society. New people have come on board. At that time when the Constitution was cultured, maybe you were still young yourself, so you didn't know. So you must see some problem somewhere and say, we need to change this Constitution for the better. Because these complaints have been coming in, those in the opposition, those, which means there is a problem. And even those UPND, if UPND was to be removed from power today, and some other political party say Zambia we want comes in, and do not do something, this Constitution or our laws or our institutional governance, then they will still complain. Okay? So we don't want to go on like this. And this has retarded the development. Because the institutional governance is key to economic progress. Because if you have weak institutions, okay, weak judicial system, weak parliament system, weak other government agencies, if they are weak in their state that they can be manipulated by one individual, you have a problem. You have issues. Look at this fake report. It's not acted. If there was an institution again who compels that you government, you the police, you anti-corruption, can you pursue these individuals that have been cited in this report? So this could work well for this country. I think we have to be honest. We have to reach a stage where we need to be honest to ourselves as well and say, look, we have not done well to our country, and our country has lacked in terms of development because we have not been serious in the way our institutions operate.
Do you think the current government is upholding the rule of law by tackling corruption?
They cannot do that. With these institutions, I've already stated that, look, we have weak institutions. They are riding on the same institution that existed before. Before them. What have they changed in terms of independence of these institutions? What have they done? Nothing. They have left them in the manner that they were before. And we cannot see any change because they will still be manipulated by individuals. Okay? We will come to the other issues which is coming. If you see some people coming from Dubai, coming to advertise that there are properties that you can buy from Dubai in Zambia, just know that it's a market. So your money is going to Dubai to buy those properties instead of circulating here. Now we have weak institutions, and they have reported that there is money that is going out there, and this suspected movement of cash or money, so which has not been investigated, and this the economy is breeding.
And I guess continuing on the same topic of money and corruption, when launching Zambia We Want Party, you said that we didn't steal when we're in government. What concrete anti-corruption systems would you introduce to rebuild public trust again?
Well, we have to do a good thing because when you are in government, you go there and learn. You have to study the system. And when you study the system, you must come up with concrete solutions. Because you cannot change that which you don't know. You need to have the knowledge of the whole system, how it operates. So, for me, I'm very clear in my mind that when I was in government, I was a minister, I did not do anything wrong. And I know where the problem is. I know why some people have been cited. And I can agree with you that some they have been cited, of course, it's okay, but some, of course, the way it is being applied, that, of course, we can say that we are not saying that there was no stealing in the previous regime, and that's not what I'm saying, okay? And I know even in this administration, there are a lot of stealing around, going out from the lower to the higher, a lot of stealing, and that's why the economy is not performing as desired. When something is not moving as desired, you know that this vehicle It's not supposed to move like this, which means there's a problem. Maybe the brakes are done where they were. So you have to interrogate. So you have to study the vehicle. So in this case, I know that some of us who are in government, although we have been cited that we are the same politician, same word, we have been condemned. We agree, yes, there's a wholesome condemnation. We agree. But the fact of the matter, you have to look at what is it that you did when you were in government. What is it that you didn't do correct? What is wrong? And then come up with the practical solutions to the problem that we are facing. We have a problem. Let's also all agree that we have a problem in Zambia. Okay? We have a problem in Zambia. And how do we address this problem? Because we have abundance of natural resources, and yet these resources have not done anything to our people. Our people are still in abject poverty. So why? Why then? So we know that there's a problem. The fall and the rise of any nation or any family depends on leadership.
So how would you ensure that those systems that you said apply equally, even to the ruling party officials? You earlier on alluded to the fact that when it comes to these bodies that need to be independent, like the ACC or the DC or the FIC, now what system needs to be put in place to make sure that it doesn't have to be a witch hunt, as it is coined out there?
It's the institutional governance. Let us be governed by institutions. Okay? We bring total independence of those institutions, like even to the extent of the police. The police, you have seen police being insulted by a cadre, because the cadre is connected to those who are in the executive. Because the executive, they have so much influence on the police. They can fire a policewoman or a policeman at will. And the policeman or policewoman will have nowhere else to go. You find that even when they take those complaints somewhere, that same institution, that police complaint authority or any other, is appointed by the executive. So it comes back again. So let other institutions be appointed, be independent, be appointed by boards or commissions. The commission must be independent. Okay, you have even our own parliament. It's not independent. It has never been independent. Total independence, that I would say. Even the laws that have been put there right now, there are laws that were targeting on one individual. Okay, a president can decide that, look, let me introduce this law to target one individual who has done something wrong, and people have been in jail because of that law, the law, motor vehicle theft and burial.
Yes.
And right now we have another law that have come in, the cattle theft. It's not bearable. Okay? And these are laws that are suspected to be because one person has an interest in that particular field, or a particular individual wants to punish one individual, wants to punish a group of people in this cattle restaurant. They need to be punished. So introduce that law. So is it really necessary to do that? Why don't we then introduce unbearable offense as issues of corruption? Because the corruption attacks everyone, even a child that is not yet born. And that's why in other countries like China, it becomes a criminal issue that you are executed publicly because they feel that you have destroyed the future because of your corruption. Okay? Now in Zambia, those who are cited with corruption, they go scot-free, and then those who steal motor vehicle and cattle, they are unbearable offense. To me, I think it should not be like that. It should be agreeable by us Zambians that which offenses will be unbearable. That hinges on the life of other people. Okay? Then you agree and say, this is what we are going to do. As opposed to what is happening now is that those who are from the executive, they have influenced how the parliament operates. Even you have heard even a speaker of the National Assembly, siding with the executive. But how do you operate in that order? You know how it is. How do give you to the analog of your body. God is designed the body that it has got systems, and these systems operate independent of each other. Respiratory system, digestive system, blood systems, they all operate independently, and yet they are building the body to make the body health. Why can't we learn from nature?
Yes.
Okay, we learn from nature and do the same way that we create systems that are independent, but making sure that they have some interface somewhere within, because they are there to make this body, Zambia, health, economically and socially. And you can only have a healthy economy or social and economic issues if you have systems in place that are incorruptible, that cannot be corrupted by one individual. And when somebody wants to do something wrong there will be a signal that will come. Other organization will say, hey, wait a minute, you are not supposed to do that. Now you have the executive, they appoint, they recommend the speaker, they control parliament, they also appoint judges, they will control the judiciary. And then how do you operate that? What if they are wrong and they take the matter to court? You lose out. There was even a case whereby at the Ministry of Mines, okay?
Yes.
Where the minister is supposed to set up a tribunal, okay? And those who have issues with the ministry, they must take their complaint to the tribunal. And the one who appoints the tribunal is a minister. Do you think there will be fairness there? There will be no fairness.
Now, which
the one who does wrong is a minister, and the one who creates a tribunal is because the one who controls the mining department, or let's say cadastre, is a minister. Okay? And when something is going wrong there, if it has been instigated by the minister, and again, when you are told that you take those complaints to tribunal, mining tribunal, and that tribunal is appointed by the minister, do you think there will be justice there? And then the judiciary will say, no. If you go to, somebody went to court, and then the court says, no, you are supposed to go to the tribunal first. And this tribunal, deliberately so, has not been constituted by the minister. You understand? Deliberately so. So you have nowhere else to go. There is no justice there. I think there's too much, we are not serious. There's playing around with in this government. For me, I think we need to have an overhaul. There are so many things that are going wrong. We need to have experts to sit there and recommend what needs to be done. And in the Ministry of Mines, in the Ministry of Lands, in the Ministry of what, all these things, so that we have an opportunity to the Zambian. So what is happening right now, those who have opportunities, there are those who are coming from outside the country because they have the money. Okay? Sometimes they are funded by their own government to come here and do, or to buy land, or to buy something. And then you find that a Zambian who has no money but living in the land of plenty who have no opportunity. These are things that we can look at seriously without bias, or without the political divide or other divides that we can talk about. Sometimes we should stand up as Zambian and say, look, let's agree that we have erred. Yes, me, I agree that I was in that government. We have erred. But I know specifically that for you to change things, you should know the things. You cannot go there and know what the crocodile does in the water. You yourself who doesn't live in the water. So you have to go to the hippo. Hippo, how does the crocodile live? Then the hippo will tell you exactly what. So you have to get somewhere to know something. And when you get somewhere, that's when you know how to fix it. How do you know how to fix something which you don't know? Right. It will be job on training or try and error. And you do know there should be no trial and error for Zambia. No trial and error for Zambia. I think we have lived, we have evolved. This time around, we should do the correct thing, which is going to help everyone. And it should be a concern of every Zambian that we are where we are because we have not done things right in the past. And what is it that we should do right now? Let everyone get involved, young and old.
Do you remember that this is Voice of the People, and today we are joined by Dr. Richwell Siamunene, who is a former Minister of Defense and former Minister of Western Province. You two can call us up on 0955 997 997 or on 0979 192 485. Do you remember you can also send us your messages as well as we get to take your phone calls. And I would say going on to something else that you have touched on quite recently, and that's calling for the repeal of the Public Order Act. You said that it limits people's freedoms. Now, what practical alternative do you propose to manage public gatherings that sometimes can get a bit too rowdy?
Yeah, because there's a limit. Because, for example, if it's the law does prescribe how one can conduct a meeting, and that meeting, when it's conducted, you have the police again who are going to make sure that the conduct is orderly. Because sometimes you could have this to be people who conduct themselves in a disorderly manner. But if the institutions are strong enough and the police are given the guide how to operate, how to manage the people, then they will be able to act on their own because right now there is a fear from those in government that they should not have that, because people start selling their manifesto, people start selling themselves, and then they are perceived that they are doing that for fear of being exposed of what they are wrongdoing. Because this gathering, that's why there's limitation in how far you can go in terms of engaging the public. So, what we are saying that the whole issue, my dear sisters, it hinges on institutions. If you don't have proper systems, okay, then you will not make progress. Zambia is where it is today because individuals, they have so much powers, okay, superseding the institutions, okay? They have this overriding advantage over the systems. They can override the system and do what is, and we see their wrongdoing when they are out of power, and start pursuing them now when they are out of power. People should be pursued while they are still in the office. If so, they must be dismissed when they are still there, so much so that their wrongdoing do not escalate to another level.
Okay. The phone lines are open. The numbers are 0961 690 487 or 0979 192 485 or 0955 997 997. Joining us today on Voice of the People, we are joined in the studio by Honorable Dr. Richwell Siamunene, a former Minister of Defense and former Minister of Western Province. We do have a text here saying, good morning, watching within Lusaka. Mr. Siamunene, are you trying to teach government what to do? That's a question.
That's a question. That's a good question. If it is perceived teaching government, I have the right to tell them to do the right thing, because what they are doing affect me, affect my children and my grandchildren, because what we do today has a repercussion in the future. We are where we are today because we have not done right things in the past. So if what I'm saying here makes sense, they must do it. I mean, that's what governance is supposed to tell us. It doesn't mean that when they are in government, they have the monopoly of knowledge, they have the monopoly of wisdom. No. Iron sharpens iron. So, we help each other. They are in government, they are our leaders right now, and it's incumbent upon us as well, who are not in power, who are not in leadership, to give some advice of some kind, so that they can do those things for the betterment of Zambia. It's not for them, those in government. It's not for them. It's for for the country. I'm here for the country. I'm not here for them to extend their power. I'm here. The extension of their stay in power must be out of what they are doing. If they have done something that is good, they need to be extended their stay there. Okay? If they have not done what is pleasing to the Zambian, if they have not helped the Zambian people upgrade their lives, why should they stay? They must justify their stay. We must justify by the way of results, not rhetoric. No. We are talking about the results.
Okay, and I would say still continuing within that vein of results, you did petition election results in Sinazongwe citing malpractice and violence. Now, what steps should Zambia take to ensure that elections are free and they are more credible, but also they're fair? Because we have been hearing that within by-elections where there was even violence in some of them. What's your take on that?
Clearly, and that's a very good question. I will tell you that who appoints the electoral commission is the president. Okay, he appoints the electoral commission, and is he not a player in the election? He is, or they are as a party. So if you have a football team, okay, from the opposite side, and the other team, they are the one who appoints the referee, or the referee is drawn from them. Do you think that match will be fair? From the start, there is no fairness, because that person, maybe that person is an associate of that particular team, or in this case, the electoral commission chairperson, maybe from UPND, maybe from PF, and he or she is appointed to preside over, to be fair, to look at the fairness of the election, to make sure that the election is free and fair. So, in my view, there will be no fairness, because that person wants also to stay in that office. Okay? In order for her or him to stay in that office, she will make sure that the party that appointed him or her continues. So, there is no security there. Okay? So what we'll be doing that, even when she is told to say, can you manipulate the election in favor of this party, because you belong to this party. Once we are out of power, you are also out. And somebody is earning an income from that and feels that if I leave this, then I'll have no income. That's security of office. So what will happen? That person will be acting according to the instruction of those in government, because their perpetuation in power, if they perpetuate themselves in power, that means that that person will also remain in that office. For fear of leaving the office, we will do according how those in government wants him or her to do. So this is a problem. So in this case, I petitioned because things were not done right. Okay, and things right now, the electoral commission must have a board who to recommend to belong to that board, and that board must be able to appoint the one who is presiding over day-to-day activities of that commission, so that when they are given the mandate to manage, they will manage the election fairly and free without looking at the political party. And they know that whichever political party wins, I will still remain in this position. My job is not threatened by the departure of this political party in power.
Dr. Richwell, sorry to cut you off short. Now, let's say for sake of argument, these people are independent. They become an independent body without any party affiliation. They don't belong to any party. Now, in hindsight, don't you think either way, they are still going to support a party of their choice, whether it be in the current government, the previous government? It just depends. But if they are qualified and they have been appointed to be in these statutory bodies, don't you think it's fair enough in that way?
For if they act in that order, there must be a board where the political party who feel injured by the activity of a person, an individual there, they must be free to report that individual to an independent body again, who will make decision and say, yes, you have not acted accordingly. You have cited this political party, or you have cited this particular individual, and you are fired. If their firing comes in that basis, from that background, then those who will be appointed in the near future will make sure that they conduct themselves fairly, because they know that they have a recourse. So in this case now, if I'm injured, if we are injured as Zambia, we want, okay, where do we go? We go to the same electoral commission. If the injury is coming from UPND, okay, where do you go? You go to the same electoral commission and you complain. The same electoral commission is appointed by the executive. So where there's nothing there. It's a child's game. To me, I think we are going in circles. So it is good as we not tendering your complaint, because you know that the body that you are tendering your complaint to is appointed by the same party that has infringed. So these are things that it's a normal. It doesn't need to have rocket scientists to know that there is a wrong thing here. You can't have the referee, you can't have the linesman, all from belonging from one team and expecting that there will be a fair match. Not at all.
We do have a text here. How well can we fight corruption? Because when the PF was in power, the politicians said that the PF ministers are corrupt. And when President Lungu comes out and bring evidence, they said he's shielding them. Right now, those ministers are being arrested, politicians. So it's a political which hand. Who and where is the problem? Is it when it comes to politicians? Is it the politicians or the government?
There were those in the government, they are politicians. I don't know what it means, but those in the government, they are politicians. So the politicians are not only those in the opposition. So those in the government, they are politicians. They are individuals, drawn from society again. So the whole thing here is to have a normal functioning government is to depend on institutions to guard national resources from abuse. You need to have institutions. Say, for example, I would give you let me say, if, for example, I'm arrested today, and the policeman institutes an arrest, okay, then tomorrow I feel that I did not infringe any law or any right of somebody's right, and I must be given the right to report that policeman to an independent body who will look at my complaint. And if they find that the policeman erred to arrest me, it should not go to the government again. The policeman must lose his or her benefit if it means the compensation. Not whereby you go to government again. This person he has a law to follow and did not follow the law deliberately. So, and then when the matter comes now that he erred or she erred, then the government again has to pay, the employer again has to pay. There should be repercussion on individual that, look, you did that yourself and you disregarded the law. Since you did this, that you lose your benefit, you lose your other rights.
So
that will affect that person, and that person will be acting accordingly.
So then, I'd say as a layman, the question then next that comes to one's mind is, what exactly, when these politicians, like you said, are within office, when they're in government, what leads one to then feel I can take public funds and resources and use them for my own personal benefit, where some don't? Is it possibly, like we've heard of rumors of having maybe, let's say, foreign investors offering very lucrative deals that are just too hard to turn down? Yes. Or is it a moral failing of the person? Which is it?
I think what we need to do, we need to activate NIPA. Okay? In NIPA, the organization there, the institute there, was there to train individuals. Those who want to get into public office, they must be taught clearly that you are getting into a public office, and this public office demands that you have got to be a person who fear something that belongs to the common good. And they must be taught. You find that out of their training, you get people who understand, okay, their duties, that they are just going to save humanity. Their role is just to save another human being, not to enrich themselves. If you have people who go in the offices with that mindset, okay, because you can change the mind. The wrong mindset will give you wrong actions. So you change their mindset and say, look, you who have decided to get into the public office, what demands of you is this and this and this and this. And when they go there, they will 50%, you will start with 50%. 50% will do right, 50% will do wrong. Then you find that you'll be graduating and you reach 70%, you reach 90%, and you get the cream. So that is those who get into the office, they will know their assignment is to save Zambia. To save Zambia is not to steal. If you are stealing, you are not saving Zambia. You are not fit to be in that office. Okay?
Now for some...
Because you are not for the public. You are working for yourself. You are an individual. Somebody who gets into those public office must have graduated, must have transcended from selfishness to selfless,
so
to a common good.
Would you say then some, unfortunately, either be it for the lack of knowledge, end up falling into traps of corruption because they just didn't know better until it's too late?
They don't know what that office demands, especially the office of the president. It's not a simple job. It's not a simple job that you can go there yourself and say, I want to be the president. I would give you an example. Let me give you an example. How that office, if you are to go on top, I would get an example from the Bible. The Bible states clearly that when Solomon was given the leadership, he knew what that leadership demands of him. He had to seek for wisdom. Okay? Says, I'm seeking knowledge and wisdom. Why? Because I want to make fair judgment. I want to deliver justice. I want to be fair to the people, so that those who be found wanting, they are found wanting correctly, and they did the wrong things. Okay? And Solomon was given wisdom. Now we have people who are intellectuals getting into the office without the aspect of wisdom. That's where problem comes, because wisdom itself is spiritual. It comes from God, and if that which comes from God, you know that we are all equal. Okay, you who is in that office, you are not more than those you are leading. You are there for distribution purpose, so to make sure that the resources are distributed equally, so that each individual is treated fairly. Now you have people who have no aspect of wisdom getting into those offices, because wisdom is the knowledge of the right thing to pursue, using the right means to achieve those ends without infringing on the right of person, without infringing the right of other people. That is wisdom, because God is fair to all, and that wisdom comes. And if you are a thief, you are in government, you should listen from me now. If you are listening from me, you are in government and you are a thief, you have no wisdom. You have no wisdom, because wisdom comes only from God, And God cannot give wisdom to a thief. You will be intelligent, yes. You can have that intellectual capabilities. Because a thief can be an intellectual. You know that. A thief can be a professional. But but you cannot have wisdom. You cannot have wisdom. You cannot be wise. A thief is never wise. Only a wise person is the one who avoids to injure another person. That one is wise. And that one is good that I'm teaching. Let me teach those who are in power now, right now, that if you are stealing there, if you are listening from me, stop it. God will not give you knowledge, his knowledge and, and his protection, because you are destroying the other part. Okay, you are injuring his other part. It's like the leg injuring the hand. Okay, we all suffer. So you are going to suffer whether you accumulate how much money you are going to accumulate, how much money you are going to hide in Dubai, how much money you are going to hide in South Africa, anywhere, or in Singapore, anywhere. God is seeing you, and you will suffer the repercussion. The repercussion may not come to you; it will come to your children. You will not be spared. Because you see, look at this. You go and steal the medicine. You go, how foolish can I be to go and tamper with you remember that's the Zamora issue. You go and steal the medicine that is meant for vulnerable people. How many people have you injured? People have died now because there was no medicine at one time, because they were not given that. But you go and drive a Porsche car, and you are even proud of. You are even having 3, 4, 5 girlfriends, and you're driving that Porsche car, and you are proud. You are happy. Meanwhile, we've injured how many people? So I think these are things that requires moral issue. It's a moral issue here. People should be trained. Those who should get into the public office, so much so that they are sieved before they get there. Their minds should be transcended to that of selfless. From selfish, from greediness. I want to tell you, the problem here, we have greed politicians who want to accumulate money even when they cannot possibly use that money. But they want to add on the money so that they are counted in this world that they have so much money. What is it going to save you? After all, you will die. You will not be here to perpetuate, and that money will not extend your life. Why can't you do a good thing and save another human being? And I would say that bring that money. If I were to become the president, I will put an amnesty and say, all those who have kept money outside this country, bring it back. We will not even investigate. Let it come back to be in the banking system, our own banking system, so that to help other sectors. Okay? You don't need to do that. Zambia is bleeding right now, because money that is meant to circulate within ourselves is kept outside. They are coming to advertise for buying property in Dubai. And this is Zambian money which is supposed to help. You need money to help other sectors to grow. Because those people, those players in those other sectors will need money. So the money must be in the Zambian banks for utilization by other sectors to expand our economy.
So speaking of other sectors, actually, let's take a turn to the mining sector. So you are in court over the cancellation of your mining license. Run us through this particular situation exactly.
You know, I don't want to do much that. That is the reason why I am talking about that, because there is no fairness in this country. You belong to the opposition, you leave the opposition, you are an enemy. So anyone can cancel anything at will. Okay?
So you're saying your mining license was just cancelled at will? There was no prior information or communication about it?
No, the matter is in court, of course, but I don't want to dwell on it. But the reason behind why I thought that it was not done accordingly, that is the reason why I have to go to court.
Okay.
Yeah, so that is the issue. There is wrong things here. Look at this. We are enemies of ourselves. How do you go out there in Mufumbwe or wherever? How many people died there? The locals maybe died. Because those who were not locals, those who are coming from Tanzania and other countries, they had to run because they were by. They saw those people before the others. Others who were in in that state who are digging now were Zambians selling to the foreigner. Why can't you put a system whereby once you discover some gold somewhere or precious metals or stone, and then demarcate those areas and give to the Zambian people? Leave that person, even when you have attainment, even when I have attainment myself, if I go to another country and some precious metals or precious mineral have been discovered, they will not give it to me. They will say, we'll leave you with this one belongs to the state, to the Zambian, because the state has the Zambian people, and give them, and let them mine, give them all the equipment that they can use to mine. And you as a government buy that, so that those who are coming from outside, they buy from government agencies, okay? So that there is monitoring there. Okay, because the same proceeds that is going to help your kwacha, actually, your currency.
There was recently the first, I believe, the artisanal and small-scale mining conference that was held, and one of the things that were brought up is that for small-scale miners to actually partner with large mining companies. Do you think that will actually benefit us in the long run, or should we stand on our own separate?
It will help if it is done properly. If it is we have seen things being said, but they are not actual things happening on the ground. The only thing that should be done for me is to make sure that you change the policy at the mining cadastre there. You reduce the fees that a Zambian pay and increase the fees for those who are coming from outside. If you are coming from outside and you want to apply, should not be the same as those who are in Zambia, because you know that your people are disadvantaged. They don't have the money. They have the will, of course, but you are disadvantaging them by making the fees, area charges, the same as those who are coming from outside. They will fail to pay area charges, and when they fail to pay area charges, then you cancel their mining licenses. And when you cancel their mining license, who are going to find an opportunity are those coming from outside. And you are disadvantaging your own people. Ultimately, you are disadvantaging your own economy. Because any economy to be healthy, it must have the input of the locals. Mm-hmm. Because the locals, when they have money, they will go and build their house. When they make profit, they will go and build a house somewhere. Maybe they will buy a farm. Then after buying a farm, they will employ a garden boy, they will employ all those people, they will be employed. Because there will be multiplier effect affecting other sectors. Now what is happening, I will tell you that, what is happening right now is that people who are running the mines, who are making huge profits, are those multinational companies. And these multinational companies, they don't keep their money here in Zambia. What is brought in Zambia here is for paying salaries to pay the Zambians, who are also producing that precious metal, that value. And how do you run an economy in that order? How can you make your economy grow? I don't see that. It doesn't require anyone to be an economist. No. Because I know that I keep on referring to the human body. Mm-hmm. For me, the value that is created in Zambia in terms of our currency, in what we get from there, it's like the blood in my body or your body. It has to circulate within the ambit of the body. So if there is a leakage somewhere, bleeding somewhere, will the body be healthy? No, it will not be healthy. It will be anemic, because the energy that is generated is being taken elsewhere. Okay, instead of building supplying all parts of the body to have energy, then it is being taken somewhere else. So the body will lack that energy. And what will happen is that it will either remain in that state, or it will reduce, or it will go into decay. So that is exactly what is happening now. Zambia is making money from copper. But if you Google right now, what is the portion of that money that comes back? You find that money that comes back is 10%. The whole bulk of that money remains there. Then how can it help other sectors? How can we grow the economy? You can't grow the economy in that state. These are things.
Just quickly, maybe you can touch on amending the Constitution. Are you in support of that?
Yes, the constitution must be amended, but not partisan amendment. Not partisan amendment. There must be a convention. There must be people who are drawn from institutions. Let them tell Law Association of Zambia, give us 5 people or 2 people. You institution, these other Transparency International, give us 2 people, okay? JCTR, give us so many people, and these are these organizations, and give us. If you are transparent in your dealings, you will not fear any law, because that law is for the future. You will not fear, if you have done something good, you will not fear to be removed out of government. You will not fear, because you know that you have done the right thing. Because after all, it's temporal. There were people who were there, and you are there, and you also come out, and others must come in. Maybe they have better ideas than you. If the economy is not improving, because it means your ideas are not working. Your formulas are not working. We will not help you in terms of governing a country. What can help you to govern the country better is God. That's all. That's my view. And to be in accord with God, you must be free of corruption, free of favoritism, free of nepotism, free of tribalism, so that you just become a leader. That's all. And then there's no way God can deny you his knowledge and his wisdom. I think that is what we need right now.
Okay. On that closing note, thank you so much for joining us this morning, Honorable.
Thank you very much, and God bless you. Thank you for having invited me.
And in case you're just tuning in, well, we were joined in by Dr. Richwell Siamunene, who's the former Minister of Defense and also the former Minister for Western Province. Do remember that Voice of the People comes every single week, and you too can be part of the conversation by calling us up, sending us your messages, even interacting with us on social media as well. The show still does continue, once again, right here on Power FM.
Voice of the People is a dynamic and interactive radio phoning show that gives listeners a platform to voice their opinions on current affairs, social issues, and community concerns. With engaging discussions, expert insights, real-time audience participation. Voice of the People.